Hey Louise, I found your coochie copy doll. Hello, I'm Refashionista Sherry, and today I'm going to share with you how to create some awesome Tina and Louise Belcher costumes using bits that you may already have around your house. So yeah, we're gonna make a fantastic cozy fleece dress as well as a groovy yarn wig plus everything else that goes with the costume. So let's get making. If you're not interested in any kind of costumes or Halloween, this tutorial is still for you because I'm simply showing how to transform a cozy fleece blanket into a cozy fleece dress. So let's get going. So my kiddo has had this fleece hooded character blanket for more than a few years, and this year she actually wants to be this character for Halloween. So instead of going out and buying all of the materials and everything, I mean, this is perfect. It's all the colors of the character right here. So I am simply going to transform this hooded blanket into the character's outfit, and then I'm going to actually become the sister of the character as well and show you how to make an awesome yarn wig in the process. So the first thing I did was to simply grab my seam ripper and remove this hood from the blanket, and it was too easy to do that. And now she has the hat, which is of course the top of the costume. Now I'm going to make this part into a cozy dress. So to create your fabulous fleece dress, you of course need a fleece blanket and either an oversized loose-fitting t-shirt to use as a template or a sleeveless dress. Now, this dress is super cool and super special to me because this was originally my Refashionista Halloween costume, and then I refashioned that refashion to create this rather groovy, spidey dress here, and I shall link the tutorial down below for you guys. So first, all you have to do is fold your blanket in half, whichever way is going to give you the most fabric. For me, it was to fold it in half lengthwise and then lay it down on a flat surface. If your fabric does have a right side and a wrong side, definitely fold it with right sides facing, or if it's like mine and it's just plain, it doesn't really matter. Next, place your dress or your oversized t-shirt on top of the blanket and use it as a template to cut out the basic shape. Okay, so now I am simply going to stitch up the sides to the bottom of the armhole there, and then stitch straight across those kind of shoulder areas as well, and then straight back down from the bottom of the other armhole. So I have just tried this on my kiddo and everything is looking great and fitting perfectly. So I'm going to work on the sleeves now. I have a piece of the remaining blanket here, and I am just going to go from the shoulder seam to the underarm seam like so. Give myself, say, about a centimeter of seam allowance and just fold that in half. And now I'm just gonna chop that and stitch it and I'll have my sleeve. So I used my first sleeve as a template to make my second sleeve, and now I'm going to flip them right side out, and they both look great. And now I'm going to add them to the dress. So I have my dress inside out and my sleeve right side out, and I'm just going to pop my sleeve into my dress so the right sides will be facing, and then I'm going to line up the bottom of my sleeve hem here with the bottom of the armhole hem, and then go stitch them together. So now the sleeves are on and they look absolutely fantastic. And now I'm just gonna kind of chop out a little bit of a scoop neckline here, not much, and then we can move on to finishing it off. So I have this long piece of scrap here, and it has this nice bound edge. So I am simply going to remove this binding and then use it to finish off the neckline and bottom hem of my dress. Now I have a long length of that binding, and I am just going to stitch it around the neckline first on the inside, and then I'm going to fold it around and stitch it on to the outside. So when I'm starting, for sure, I want to make sure that I have it right at the edge of my neckline here, so I can easily fold it over to the front when I'm doing the final stitch. Hooray! The dress is done, and it is super cozy. It fits perfectly, and I mean, it's going to be perfect for trick-or-treating because it is definitely chilly in the evenings. Plus, she can also wear it, you know, out if she wants to, just lounging around the house. I mean, it is super duper cozy. I did also finish off the hood hat, and this was just stitched onto the edge of the blanket, and it didn't have any wire or anything. The ears just kind of flopped, but we wanted the ears to stand up, of course, so I just added some craft wire here and then left a bit on the end, folded it forward, so this part now sits on her head and the ears will stand up straight, and then I just did a quick running stitch all the way around to create kind of a casing for the wire, so it's going to stay in place. Plus, I'm still not done, and out of some of the leftover scraps from the blanket, I made a coochie kopie because, of course, she needs an accessory to take with her. Now, let's move on to my costume. So I already had the shoes and the socks, but what I'm missing is the actual outfit, the top and the skirt. But I'm 100% positive I can find what I need over at the thrift shop. So let's go. Looking around, looking around, looking around. I need a skirt, I need a skirt, I need a navy blue skirt. And what is this? It is a navy blue skirt! Next, let's head over to the men's t-shirts because I need a baggy blue men's t-shirt, but it's got to be light blue. And it can't have a logo on it. Everything has logos nowadays. Let's see, what is this one? Am I lucky? I am lucky! Hooray! I now have the skirt. And come on, this one has pockets. How cool is that? So I'm definitely gonna wear this outside of a costume for sure. Plus, I have the t-shirt, which, I mean, of course, I can wear this as well for something other than a costume, and I can easily refashion it, put something cool on it, so maybe we'll do that in the future. Plus, I have the socks, plus I have the shoes, but you know what I don't have? I don't have a dark black bob, so let's go make one with bits that I already have on hand. Yarn wigs are so super simple to make. All you need is a kind of tight-fitting beanie, and if you don't have a beanie hat, then just simply chop off the top of a pair of thick tights or a pair of old leggings and stitch the open end closed, and you know, you're basically then have a tight-fitting beanie. It's very, very easy. Plus, of course, some yarn and either your glue gun or your sewing gear, because you can do this without any sewing at all if you have a sturdy glue gun. I also forgot to mention I have the glasses as well, which are very important for this costume, right? Okay, so the very first thing you want to do is pop your beanie on and decide what's the front, what's the back, how is it comfortable. Then, because this is going to be a bob with bangs on it, I needed to put a pin on either side of where I want my bangs to kind of be in the center here. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah, so that's what you got to do next, is mark out the area where you would like your bangs to be. So this stitch line here on my beanie is actually the perfect kind of length for where I need to start my bangs from. So I'm just going to use that as a guide. If you don't have something like this on your beanie, then when you do your bang width marks, then just go ahead and add another pin to the top where you would like your bangs to start from. All right, then you're just going to grab your yarn and go from the top area, and you want to give yourself a little bit of extra, so I'm going about 1.5 centimeters beyond my line. Plus then I'm going to add another centimeter to the bottom and just kind of gather it up like, let's see if you can see, like so. And yeah, just keep looping it. Doesn't have to be perfect at all because, you know, we are giving ourselves some extra length so we can do a bang trim when we need to, when it's all done. So then once you have your yarn in place, then all you have to do is go stitch it on. If you are actually doing the gluing method, as you are putting each strand down, you could actually just put like a dollop of glue and stick it down right away. The stitching method, clearly you have to lay it all down first. And like I said, it does not have to be perfect at all. This fell on the floor a couple times, but yeah, now I'm just gonna go stitch this onto the hat and then we can do a little bit of a trim. Okay, so that is all nicely stitched on. It is definitely not going to go anywhere, but clearly this needs to have a bit of a trim and a cleanup. So yeah, let's just do that. And if yours looks nicer than mine, you can just simply kind of chop through the loops here. But because mine is, well, as it is, I'm just going to really, you know, trim off the yucky edges here first, and then I can see how it's going to look better. So that looks pretty awesome, actually. This part up here, the top loops, we're just going to leave that because everything is going to get stitched over top of it, and I'm just a little bit wary to cut this just in case these ones start falling out, but as they're looped around and then stitched, it should be okay. So you want to grab your yarn again, and now we have to decide how long we want our actual side hair to be. So we're just going to put that on, and I think I want to do it a little bit longer than a bob because, again, if I can do a trim, then I'll do a trim. Okay, so there we have the length, and now just like we did with the bangs, we're going to loop it and loop it and loop it and loop it. And of course this one kind of has to be pretty much the entire ball of yarn because it has to go all the way around the top of the beanie. So I wasn't sure if I was actually going to have enough yarn, so I went ahead and added a little bit from the scrappy leftovers to the back here, just so at least the back will be covered enough that it won't be so noticeable if I don't end up having enough yarn to go over the entire beanie. But let's see, let's just see if I do. Here is one bunch of yarn, and the other bunch of yarn I did two just so I can work in sections. And I'm gonna fold it in half evenly-ish and then just kind of arrange it onto the beanie and spread it out as best as I can. And actually that's looking pretty good so far. So once I get this all arranged where I would like it to be, then I'm just going to go and stitch a kind of part line straight down the center. So it worked, and you can see here I'm just a little bit slightly off center because I did put the hat back on and I put a pin in the center now. So I'm going to now add that second bunch of yarn and, you know, stitch it properly in the center this time. So after much swearing and fighting with my machine, my wig is done and it's all trimmed up. I mean, it doesn't look super perfect, but again, it's okay. It'll get the job done. And it was free because I had everything and I made it myself. Now all I have to do is take this little scrap of yellow foam and create the nice little barrette, and I'm just going to cut it to size and then stick it on a hair clip. I cannot believe how awesome this yarn wig came out. I mean, the whole costume is fantastic. Plus, of course, this amazingly super cozy dress is just, I mean, it's wonderful. And like I said, she can also wear it just lounging around. It is so fantastically cozy for chilly days. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. And if you would love to see more of my last minute Halloween ideas, I have linked my index down below for you. Plus, of course, you know, have a leisurely scroll through my channel. Enjoy all of my rockin' Refashionista tutorials and start transforming your wardrobe today. Plus, I don't know what else to say. We are ready. We are ready for trick-or-treating, though, definitely. So have a wonderful, spooky, spooktacular season. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and we'll catch ya on the zigzag.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.